For week 3, we'll be taking notes on subtracting integers. So wherever you left off for adding integers in your notes, please turn to the next empty page and label that page as subtracting integers. So there are many ways to subtract integers, just like adding integers. However, there are 2 ways that are very effective, and we're going to focus on those 2 ways so that we can minimize mistakes, because oftentimes people struggle a lot more with subtracting integers than adding integers. The first effective method is called adding opposite, and then the other method is called walking method, and that involves a number line. So we'll start first with adding the opposite. Whenever you think about this method, you want to think about these subtracting integers problems as adding problems instead. So we'll start first by writing -3 minus 2. And when we look at this 2, we're subtracting positive 2. So we need to think about what is the opposite of positive 2. And the opposite of 2 is negative 2. So to rewrite this problem, we're going to change it from a subtraction problem to an addition problem. -3 plus -2. So the idea is the add. So we change the minus to a positive, and we want to add the opposite. So instead of positive 2, we make it -2. So -3 plus -2. So you think of losing $3, and then you lose 2 more dollars. That means you lost $5. So that equals to -5. We're going to try adding opposite again with a different type of problem. This time we're dealing with 2 negative problems, 2 negative integers, -6 minus -4. So we want to do the opposite of -4 is going to be +4. So if we want to add the opposite, we're changing this math problem to -6 plus the opposite of -4, which is +4. -6 plus 4, so draw 6 negative counters and 4 positive counters. Make 0 pairs, and we're left with -2. Now we're going to try larger numbers. Example 3, 14 minus 67. Remember, 67, the opposite of 67 is -67. So 14 plus -67 is equal to, so we can draw a number line to help us visualize this. We start at 14 and then we go back 67, and we're going to get -53. And then example 4, we're going to have a positive subtracting a negative. So 41 minus -78. The opposite of -78 is +78. So 41 plus +78 is equal to 119. You can think of the thermometer again. Here's 0, you go up 41, and then you go up 78, and that's going to give you 119. The other popular method for subtracting integers is the walking method. You can think of a number line, a horizontal number line. So I want to draw the example again. Same example as before, but approaching it a different way. -3 minus 2. So imagine you have a person on a number line and they're facing to the right because they're a positive person. This first -3 means they're walking 3 steps backwards, because negative means going back. And then this minus can be interpreted as turning around. And then lastly, this 2, this positive 2, means you walk 2 steps forward. So first, we walk 3 steps backwards. So I go 1, 2, 3. So this person is walking backwards 1, 2, 3. So now we're here at -3 when you walk 3 steps backwards. The next step is to turn around. So to turn around, you can see their face is turning to the right. Now you're going to turn around, and now their face is going to be facing to the left. So we're still at -3. We haven't moved. All we did was turn around. Lastly, after we turn around, we need to walk 2 steps forward. So the person's facing to their left, they're going to walk 2 steps forward. And in the end, they're going to be here. At -5. So now they're at -5 because they walked 2 steps forward. So the answer, -3 minus 2 equals to -5. Example 2. -6 minus -4. So we draw a number line again, and the person is facing to the right at 0, but they're taking steps backwards, 5, 6. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Because this -6 means walk 6 steps backwards. And this minus means turn around. And lastly, this -4 means walk 4 steps backwards because it's a negative number. So first thing we do is walk 6 steps backwards, and we'll be here now. Once we walk 6 steps backwards, we need to turn around. And we're still at -6, but when we turn around, our face is facing to the left now. Lastly, we need to walk 6 steps backwards. So if our person is walking backwards and they're facing left, that means they're moving to the right since they're walking backwards. So -5, -4, -3, -2. And that will be our solution. So -6 minus -4 is equal to -2. Example 3. 14 minus 67. So we start at 0, facing to the right. And we need to walk 14 steps forward. And then we need to turn around. And finally, we walk 67 steps forward, because the 67 is a positive number. So let's start first by walking 14 steps forward. We'll be at 14. So when we walk 14 steps forward, we'll be at 14. Now that we're at 14, we need to turn around. To the right, we're facing left, because we turned around from right to left. And lastly, we need to walk 67 steps forward. So when we walk 67 to our left, we're becoming smaller. This is 14, this is going to be 0. And we go 67 backwards, or forwards in this case, because this person's walking to the left. We are left at negative 53. So when you're facing to the left and you're walking 67 steps forward, you eventually get to negative 53. So 14 minus 67 is equal to negative 53. Last but not least, we have 41 minus negative 78. We walk 41 steps forward. We turn around. And then we walk backwards 78 steps, because it says negative 78. So let's draw a first number line. We're always facing to the right, and we're walking 41 steps forward. When we do that, we're going to be left at 41. So walk 41 steps forward, we're at 41 now. Now we're going to turn around. So instead of facing to our right, we face left. And we're still at 41. And last but not least, after we're at 41, we're going to walk backwards 78 steps. So here's 41. And notice that we're going to, since this person's facing left, they walk backwards. Their number's going to get larger. And we're going to get 119. So when they're facing left and they're walking backwards, they're going to become a larger number, and that becomes 119. So the final solution, 41 minus negative 78, that equals 119.